Welcome to A Fresh Perspective, a new lens to view the world. This is Let's Take Another Look. We're here to challenge the norm, scrutinize the established, and make you question everything you thought you knew. This is not just another YouTube channel, this is an intellectual revolution. Today's insights are brought to you by Let's Take Another Look Media, your portal to curiosity and knowledge. Stay tuned, stay curious, and always take another look. Before we dive into today's topic, we want to remind you of the simple ways to support our intellectual revolution. If you're enjoying our content and want to stay in the loop, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and ring that bell to receive notifications. This way, you'll never miss an opportunity to question, learn, and grow with us. After all, curiosity didn't kill the cat, it gave it 9 lives. Now, let's get back to our regularly scheduled program.
Have you ever wondered about the origins of life as depicted in the book of Genesis? This ancient text has fascinated scholars, theologians, and the curious-minded for centuries. As the first book of the Bible, Genesis holds a unique position, serving as the opening act to a grand narrative that spans both testaments. Genesis is not just a cornerstone of Christianity, it holds significance in Judaism and Islam as well, making it a touchstone across multiple faiths. Its narratives, characters, and lessons have shaped cultural and moral norms and continue to intrigue us with their depth and complexity. The book of Genesis can be neatly divided into 2 main sections. The first is known as the primeval history, which covers the creation of the world, the early days of humanity, and the Great Flood. This section is rich with symbolism and profound questions about human nature, morality, and our relationship with the divine. The second part of Genesis, known as the patriarchal history, shifts focus to a more personal narrative. It delves into the lives of the patriarchs of Israel, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and the matriarchs, Sarah, Rebecca, Leah, and Rachel. Their journeys, trials, and triumphs form the backbone of this section, offering a more intimate look at faith, covenant, and the human condition. As we delve into the book of Genesis, we'll explore these narratives, their context, and their significance. We'll try to understand what they tell us about ancient beliefs, moral codes, and how they have shaped the faith and culture of millions around the world. Unraveling Genesis isn't just about understanding an ancient text, it's about exploring our shared heritage, our collective subconscious. It's about grappling with questions that have echoed through the ages and continue to resonate today. So, buckle up as we embark on this journey of unraveling the mysteries of Genesis. Imagine a world coming into existence from nothingness. The primeval history of Genesis narrates just that. The book of Genesis, the first book of the Hebrew Bible and the Old Testament, begins with the creation of the world. The majestic narrative unfolds over 7 days, with each day marked by divine acts of creation. Day 1 witnesses the creation of light, separating it from the darkness. Day 2, the formation of the sky, a separation of waters above and below. The 3rd day brings forth the dry land, seas, and vegetation. On the 4th day, God creates the sun, moon, and stars to govern the day and night. Day 5 is filled with life as birds and sea creatures are brought into existence. The 6th day sees the creation of land animals, and finally, the crowning glory, man and woman in God's image. The 7th day, God rests, blessing it as a day of rest for all time. From here, we move to the idyllic Garden of Eden, a paradise filled with every kind of tree that is pleasing to the eye and good for food. In this paradise, God places the first man and woman, Adam and Eve. They live in harmony with nature, tending the garden and enjoying direct communion with God. Yet this harmony is shattered when they fall from grace. Tempted by the serpent, they eat from the tree of knowledge of good and evil against God's command. This act of disobedience marks their fall, leading to their expulsion from the Garden of Eden. In their journey from the garden to the real world, Adam and Eve face the consequences of their actions. Life outside the garden is difficult, filled with hard work and pain. Yet it is also marked by resilience and the promise of a new beginning. Thus begins the journey of man, from the Garden of Eden to the real world, laden with challenges and opportunities. Life outside Eden wasn't easy, was it? Especially for Adam and Eve's sons, Cain and Abel. Now let's delve into the lives of these 2 brothers who had vastly different fates. Cain, the elder brother, was a tiller of the ground while Abel was a shepherd. They both brought offerings to God. Cain brought the fruit of the ground and Abel brought the firstlings of his flock. God, for reasons not explicitly stated, favored Abel's offering over Cain's, stirring a seething jealousy within Cain. This jealousy, unfortunately, culminated in the first recorded act of fratricide when Cain lured Abel into the field and took his life. God, in his omniscience, questioned Cain about his brother's whereabouts, to which Cain responded with the infamous line, "Am I my brother's keeper?" God then pronounced Cain's punishment, a life of wandering and fruitless toil. But even in this punishment, God showed mercy, placing a mark on Cain to prevent others from killing him, thus introducing the concept of divine protection. Now, let's shift our focus to the lineage of Adam and Eve. Their story didn't end with Cain and Abel. They had another son, Seth, who carried forward their lineage. It's through Seth's descendants that humanity continued to grow and diversify. Seth's lineage includes notable biblical figures like Enoch, who walked with God, and Lamech, the father of Noah. The story of Cain, Abel, and Seth is a rich tapestry of sibling rivalry, divine judgment, and mercy. It also serves as a foundation for subsequent narratives, setting the stage for stories of humanity's growth, missteps, and divine interventions. And thus, humanity spread and diversified, leading us to the story of Noah. So stay tuned as we continue to unravel the fascinating narratives woven into the fabric of Genesis. Have you ever wondered about the story of Noah and his ark? Let's dive into one of the most famous narratives of the book of Genesis. It's the tale of a man named Noah, a man chosen by the divine to endure a cataclysmic event that would reshape the world. Noah, described as a righteous and blameless man, was living in a world consumed by wickedness. It was a world so corrupt that the divine decided to cleanse it with a great flood, a flood that would wipe out every living creature on earth. But Noah found favor in the eyes of the divine. The divine delivered a command to Noah. He was to build an ark, a massive vessel that would house him, his family, and a pair of every kind of living creature. This was not a small task. The ark was to be of gopher wood, with rooms inside, and it was to be coated with pitch both inside and out. It was to be a sanctuary, a haven from the impending deluge. As commanded, Noah built the ark and gathered the animals. And then, the rains came. For 40 days and 40 nights the heavens opened and water covered the earth. Every high mountain under the entire heavens was covered, and all life on earth was blotted out. But inside the ark, Noah, his family, and the animals were safe. They floated above the waters, the sole survivors of a world that was no more. It was a time of waiting, a time of survival, until finally the waters receded. The ark came to rest on the mountains of Ararat, and Noah, stepping out onto a cleansed earth, built an altar and made a sacrifice. The divine, pleased with Noah's sacrifice, made a covenant. Never again would a flood destroy all life. As a sign of this promise, a rainbow was set in the sky. With Noah and his family, a new chapter in human history begins. From the ashes of the old world emerged the patriarchs of the new. As we delve deeper into the heart of Genesis, we encounter the patriarchal history, a captivating narrative that introduces us to 4 key figures: Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, and Joseph. Their stories form the backbone of Genesis, and their lives are full of trials, triumphs, and lessons that continue to resonate today. Let's begin with Abraham, often referred to as the father of many. Born in the city of Ur, Abraham's journey is a testament to unwavering faith. He was called upon by God to leave his homeland and venture into the unknown. His obedience and trust in divine guidance set the stage for a covenant that would shape the destiny of his descendants. Next, we meet Isaac, the miracle child of Abraham and his wife Sarah. Born when his parents were well beyond their childbearing years, Isaac was a living testament of God's promise. His story is one of sacrifice and survival, highlighting the profound faith of his father and the mercy of God. Then there's Jacob, the crafty yet chosen one. Jacob, later renamed Israel, was a man of many faces, a trickster, a dreamer, a fighter. But above all, he was the one chosen to carry forward the covenant. His life was marked by struggles and victories, shaping him into a patriarch whose lineage would give birth to the 12 tribes of Israel. Finally, we encounter Joseph, a dreamer sold into slavery by his own brothers. His story is one of fortitude and forgiveness. Despite the trials he faced, Joseph rose to prominence in Egypt, paving the way for his family's survival during a severe famine. The lives of these patriarchs are woven with trials and triumphs, shaping the course of history. Their stories form an intricate tapestry of faith, obedience, and divine intervention. As we continue our journey through Genesis, let's remember the legacy they've left behind and the lessons we can learn from their lives. Abraham, the man chosen by God, but why him? Let's delve into this pivotal figure of Genesis, Abraham, who is revered in multiple world religions today. Abraham, formerly known as Abram, was a man of humble beginnings. Born in the city of Ur in Mesopotamia, he lived a simple life. But his life took an extraordinary turn when he received a divine call. God chose Abraham, promising him descendants as numerous as the stars in the sky and the grains of sand on the seashore. God also promised Abraham a land of his own, a place where his descendants could thrive. This covenant, this sacred agreement, made Abraham a crucial part of God's plan. But why Abraham? What made him so special? The answer lies in his unfaltering faith. Despite his old age and his wife Sarah's barrenness, Abraham believed in God's promise. His faith was so strong that he was willing to leave his homeland and journey to an unknown territory, simply because God asked him to. This unwavering trust in God's word was what set Abraham apart. Yet his faith was tested in a way that's hard for any of us to comprehend. God asked Abraham to sacrifice his son Isaac, the child of the promise. This was a test of faith, a trial of the heart. Abraham was ready to obey, even at the cost of his beloved son. However, at the last moment, God stopped him, providing a ram for the sacrifice instead. This act of obedience, this willingness to give up what was most dear to him, further solidified Abraham's place in the divine plan. Abraham's story is not just about divine promises and covenants, but also about human faith and obedience. His faith was not blind, but was built on a deep relationship with God, a relationship marked by trust, obedience, and mutual respect. Abraham's faith sets a precedent for all, marking him as the father of many nations. His story continues to inspire millions around the world, reminding us that faith, even when tested, can lead to divine favor and blessings. The covenant did not end with Abraham, it was just the beginning. In the grand tapestry of Genesis, the threads of covenant continue to weave through the narratives of Isaac, Jacob, and Joseph. Isaac, Abraham's son, is not just a link in a chain. He is the first to inherit the covenant, a promise passed down from father to son. His story is one of faith and obedience, as he willingly follows his father to Mount Moriah, unknowing of Abraham's command to sacrifice him. It's a testament to the trust within their relationship and a symbol of the faith required in the covenant. Then we move to Jacob, a man of many faces. He's the trickster who steals his brother's birthright, the wrestler who contends with God, and the father who grieves the loss of his beloved son. Yet through all his trials, he remains under the covenant's protection. His life is a testament to God's faithfulness, even in the face of human failings. His name change to Israel marks a turning point, a transformation that echoes through the ages and shapes the identity of a nation. Finally, we turn to Joseph, Jacob's favorite son who is sold into slavery by his jealous brothers. His story, filled with hardship and redemption, is a powerful reminder of God's providence. He rises from the pit to the palace, becoming a key player in Egypt's survival during a severe famine. In doing so, he not only saves his own family, but also ensures the continuation of the covenant. In these narratives, we see a common thread. Each character faces trials and tribulations, yet their stories are not defined by these challenges. Instead, they're shaped by the covenant, by faith in God's steadfast promise. In their unique ways, Isaac, Jacob, and Joseph each contributed to the unfolding of God's plan. Genesis is not just a story of creation and ancestry, it's also a treasure trove of lessons. Diving into the narrative, Genesis offers us valuable insights about the human condition. It presents us with moral and ethical dilemmas that are just as relevant today as they were millennia ago. A recurring theme in Genesis is the significance of choices and their consequences. From Adam and Eve's decision to eat from the tree of knowledge to Joseph's choice to forgive his brothers, we see the profound impact of our decisions. The story of Cain and Abel, for instance, is a stark reminder of the dangers of jealousy and the importance of managing our emotions. Abel's sacrifice was accepted by God, while Cain's was not, leading to a surge of jealousy in Cain. Instead of dealing with his feelings, Cain let them consume him, ultimately leading him down a path of destruction. This narrative prompts us to consider our own emotional responses and the importance of handling them constructively. Genesis also highlights the value of perseverance and faith. When faced with adversity, we see figures like Noah and Abraham maintain steadfast faith in God's promises. Despite the ridicule, Noah built an ark. Abraham, against all odds, believed in the promise of a great nation. Their stories teach us about standing firm in our beliefs, even when faced with overwhelming odds. In addition, Genesis underscores the importance of forgiveness. Joseph, sold into slavery by his jealous brothers, had every reason to seek vengeance. Yet when given the opportunity, he chose forgiveness, understanding that harboring resentment only breeds more harm. This narrative encourages us to let go of our grudges and to seek reconciliation instead. Lastly, the book of Genesis teaches us about human potential and the constant possibility for growth and change. It reminds us that we are not defined by our past mistakes, but by our ability to learn, grow, and make better choices moving forward. Genesis, thus, serves as a mirror reflecting our own strengths, weaknesses, and potential for spiritual growth. Genesis, a book of beginnings, has much more to it than meets the eye. It's a story that unfolds over time, revealing layers of meaning and depth. From the dawn of creation to the lineage of patriarchs, it's a narrative that's as rich and varied as life itself. We started this journey with the unraveling of Genesis, exploring the profound nature of a book that marks the start of biblical history. The primeval history section took us back to the very roots of existence. We delved into the mysteries of the creation narrative, the Garden of Eden, and the early human experience. Then we walked through the stories of Cain and Abel, brothers who set a precedent for the human condition, and the lineage that followed. This lineage presented a timeline that spanned generations, each carrying their own unique stories and lessons. A major turning point in our journey was the story of Noah's Ark and the Great Flood, an event that tested human resilience and faith in the face of utter devastation. It was a tale of survival, a testament to the enduring power of hope and belief. The patriarchal history was next, introducing us to figures like Abraham, the father of many. His story and the continuation of the covenant brought us into a new era of Genesis, an era marked by faith, challenges, and divine promises. We also gleaned lessons from Genesis, drawing morals and insights from its stories. These lessons remind us of our own strengths and weaknesses, our capacity for good and evil, and the importance of faith and perseverance. In the end, Genesis is a testament to the human spirit, its strengths, its failings, and its capacity for faith and redemption. It's a book that holds a mirror to humanity, reflecting our deepest fears and highest hopes. It's a story that continues to resonate thousands of years after it was first written, because it speaks to the heart of who we are.
Another day, another dive into the fascinating world we live in. If your curiosity is piqued, show your appreciation with a like or a subscribe. There's a treasury of knowledge waiting in our other videos. Dig in, explore, and remember, every day is a chance to take another look. Thank you for your time until our paths cross again. Thank you for watching.